On our sixth day in Japan, we decided to go to the Imperial Palace in Tokyo, but unfortunately we couldn't get inside the gates without having already booked the tour, which were already booked out until July. So we were only able to walk around the grounds and view the palace. It was still pretty amazing, although the weather was not perfect. We then headed to Tokyo Station where I got a matcha latte before getting onto the train to Mt.Fuji. The bus ride was about 2 hours, and it did take us through a lot of country and highway that I'd previously never seen before. It was a really nice experience and very tranquil. It was also very nice that they had Wi-Fi and pubs on the bus, so we were able to get some homework done on the way there. Although I am an avid hiker and I was really looking forward to getting a chance to go around Mount Fuji, it was unfortunately out of season. So instead we decided to go visit the Wind and Ice Caves, which are located in the Suicide Forest. The caves were an immediate 10-degree drop, to the point where we had to bring jackets, it was so chilly. Inside the caves there were ice preserved from the winter before, which were previously used as pre-technological refrigerators. It was very steep. The second cave was a lot smaller though. Either way, I had a great time because I do love going into caves, although you will never catch me trying cave diving. Because of the low availability of buses and our late departure because of a delay with the bus, we were not sure if we were able to go to the second cave. But right outside of the first one was a store selling corn-flavored ice cream, which I've previously had as a topping on ice cream in Cambodia, but never corn-flavored ice cream by itself. It's definitely an acquired taste, but one that I definitely try again. The ice cave was also a pretty small walk. It was about 20 minutes walk from the first cave, and going in it only took about 10 minutes to do round trip. They did offer helmets and boots for rent because of the low ceilings, which I had to actually crouch to get through. I'm only 5'2", so it wasn't as difficult for me as it was for my friend who is pretty tall. It was a pretty cool experience here, especially because despite being developed, it still felt like you were going backwards in time a bit, which is how untouched the cave was. I would sincerely recommend doing this because it only cost about 600 yen for the two of us, and it doesn't take much time, especially if you're already in the area. Outside of the cave was another little tourist area where you could go buy food, souvenirs, and there was a guy right next door who had an adorable dog out there for you to pet. We actually ended up missing our bus, or rather the bus didn't show up because it was an unreliable line, and you can't call a taxi using like an app. Uber does not exist out here, so we had to get someone in the souvenir shop to call us a taxi, which cost nearly $50 to go just 20 minutes down the street. We were lucky because we were able to get a seat on the train and were able to get back home just in time for dinner. The nightlife here was really great. It was booming, and we were able to find a street that sold basically meat skewers. And if you know me, you know that I love meat. I love barbecue. I love trying basically anything that can be grilled. So we settled down there and had quite a few rounds of kebabs of all different types. There was chicken skin, there was chicken gizzard, they had some pork options which I stayed away from, but there was a lot of really great food and cheap drinks. Overall, having several rounds of food and alcohol only cost us about $30 each. After a long and eventful day, we finally headed back to our hotel to prepare for our next day in the city. Overall, I would recommend going to the Suicide Forest even if you're not someone who's into Japanese horror. just for the sake of getting to see some nature that's not too far and for a good view of Mount Fuji if the weather is right. If you go between June and August, you'll have a really great time doing a hike, and I definitely intend to return someday soon to try it for myself. Overall, a really great experience, although a little bit nerve-wracking when we missed our bus.